Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. And in this 3-part video series, I've been sharing the top 3 apps that I use while out on safari to streamline and make my life a little bit easier when it comes to putting together content from the field when I'm out on safari to share with all of you on the various social platforms. The first video was all about CapCut, which is by far my favorite video editing app. It's free, you can use it on your phone. All of these apps are obviously right in the palm of your hand on the phone, and it really does speed things up if you don't really have a lot of time to jump onto a computer, open up Premiere Pro or Lightroom or Photoshop, whatever the case may be. So the first video was all about video editing and just how incredible this free app is. How it's still free, I have no idea. The second app was how to put together more professional, sleek and or creative looking story posts and or reels, whatever the case may be, for Instagram on an app called Unfold. So I use the free version, you'll see it all in that video, and it is extremely powerful as to what it's capable of and how you can create really fresh, new and different kind of looking stories for if you are active on stories trying to market a product, show off your experience, put together family holiday memories, whatever the case may be. That's the app for you. It's really, really good. Now lastly, and I know today's technology, the editing app on here to enhance the look and feel of an image is good on the new iPhones, probably on the new Samsungs, Huawei's, whatever phones are out there. But I am going to hero in this third and final app video is an app called SNAPSEED. And SNAPSEED is basically a application in which you can edit and enhance the look and feel of your images that you take either on your cell phone and or images. What I often do is I pull images via Bluetooth and or Wi-Fi off my memory cards from the camera straight onto the phone. So it brings the raw file into my phone as a JPEG. I can then make use of that. So because I don't often, when I get back into camp, I don't have time to import my images, edit them, make them look pretty, because I need to get back into camp, go and help my guests, help them import, help them edit, that whole bang shoot. So if I can just draw it straight from the phone, from the camera onto the phone, do the edit on the phone, it's a much quicker process for me, and then I'll go do the really fancy edits and so once I get back home after the safari. So for the purpose of this exercise, I need to take a quick selfie. Right, there we go. So I've now got, that's me, a selfie. Let me get the screen recording going, because now I'm going to jump into SNAPSEED. And you'll see under my media folder, top right, the green leaf logo is SNAPSEED. If I click on that, you'll see at the moment it says tap anywhere to open a folder. So I obviously want to give it access and go select that last selfie I just took. I then take it into the application. Okay, there we go. We're in the app. Now, it takes you into this screen over here. So it gives you on the bottom over here under looks various amounts of options to go and choose from. So portrait, smooth, pop usually adds a lot of contrast and usually is a one-click wonder type look and feel, but sometimes it, as you can see here, it is overworked. But for stories and things like that, it's not too much of a problem. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to keep the current look. But yeah, as you'd see here, you get morning, you get all different kinds of looks that you can just literally, it's one click away and you can use it. But I'm going to keep it current for now, and I'm going to go into tools, because tools is where I do most of my work. Because I'm pulling a raw file, I don't want to make an image I took of a lion look super processed and unnatural by using one of those one of these look categories, being pop or fade or glow or morning, whatever the case may be. So for the purpose of editing a raw file, I go into the tools module, and you can see within that there are so many options, and again, for a free application, it is incredible what you can do with this app. So under develop, you will see that on the bottom of the screen you've got the X on the far left to get out of that, go back into it. You've got the tick on the far right to approve the changes you made. At the top you can see exposure, and it's at 0.00. Bottom left above the little X is a histogram that you can activate. But now in the bottom, in the center, on the far right, we've got white balance, and I'm going to keep it on as shot or auto. It does a good enough job. As shot, slightly warmer than auto. Alright, and then this little grid on the left are all your tools over here. You'll see now it's disappeared, but as soon as I click and hold and drag up on that, it gives you all those options. So here, for example, if the shadows are a bit heavy, stop on shadows, but then you just slide left and right, and it gives you, which it makes and applies those changes. Keep sliding up. If I want a bit of structure, which is like clarity, temperature looks okay, tint, so that's your white balance. But here, maybe I just want to punch highlights a bit, and maybe up on the general exposure somewhat. Now by clicking and holding on the image, it will show you the before and the after. So by just doing those few edits on that image, under the raw file develop or the image tone, and you push that, it's really made a massive difference. So I like this, clicking on that tick on the bottom right, and it's going to make those changes to the image for me. I'm going to go back into tools. So mine on the top left here now says raw develop. Reason being is because I took that selfie as a raw file. For the most part, if you don't have that capability on your phone, you'll just get tune image, which gives you pretty much the same brightness, contrast, saturation, ambience, all these kind of things, but it's not as effective as a raw file would be, but it still does a great job. So go play around with those tools in there. It does pretty much the same thing. So I usually start off in tune image, because when I'm pulling an image off my camera onto my phone, it's a JPEG, so I don't get the raw develop option, I only get tune image. From there, I will then go into detail. I'll add a little bit of structure and a little bit of sharpening. And again, you don't want to go heavy on this and on your structure, because you can see how fake that starts looking, and you really see wrinkles and marks and things you don't want to see on your face. So that's there. So you want to be very light-handed when it comes to this kind of stuff, just to give it a little bit more of an edge and make it look slightly sharper. Again, bottom right to activate that. Now within this application, there are so many things you can do, and like I said, I use these apps to streamline and speed up the process of getting it off the camera onto my phone, do a quick edit onto Instagram. So you can sit. I mean, I sat next to a guy, actually a great young chap, flying out of Kenya this beginning of this year, and he's originally South African. He had spent 3 months in Kenya somewhere, like far in like the middle of nowhere in Kenya, building hospitals, and he's new into photography, and I saw him working on on SNAPSEED, doing the whole thing, and he spent forever on each of these things, processing this image or images into really cool looking things. So kind of what you can do on Lightroom, Photoshop not so much, but Lightroom, by lifting the exposures, brushing and adding exposure there, darkening it here. There's a whole lot you can do on this. But for my purpose, I'm showing you what I use most to streamline and kind of speed things up a little bit for me. So I've used develop or tone or tune image, details. Everything else except for brush and healing, I don't use. So I literally use 4 out of everything that's available here. So, but let's go into the brush real quick. If I think I want my eyes to be brighter, I can go and select exposure, and then you can go change the levels by clicking up, down, whatever the case may be. But if I want to brighten up my eyes a little, I just go paint them, go up even more, like let's be extreme here so you can see. But obviously you'll see it on my eyelid, so you're going to need to be very careful here. But let's say that's what we wanted to do. Now I've got alien looking eyes. You do you, they say. That does not look great, so if you've overworked it, go back into tools, go into exposure, go to erase, and you can kind of erase it off. Oh no, we can't. We'll have to undo by hitting that little icon, little arrow pointing to the left on the top. If we undo that, it takes the eyes away. So that's your brush tool, really handy at times. But one thing I really love about this app, and it does it well, especially for a quick little edit, is the healing tool. So say for example, I didn't like this white little logo on this image. Zooming into that, I can just go paint that, boom, replaces it. And at that level, you can't even see that I had to replace that. Say for example, like that white patch in my collar over there, if that was annoying me, take the healing tool, whoopsie, don't want to do that, so just undo that little arrow pointing left, on the bottom left, like choosing something like that, painting it there, zooming out of it, you wouldn't even know that I had a white piece in my collar. So these, and then from there, it's a non-destructive edit, so it's not affecting my raw file or the image that I've brought in, because if I say export, if I click on the word save, it will be destructive, and it's going to save that exact image just as you edited it. So if you want to save a copy, I would recommend you do. So when you're saving a copy, what it then does is it references the raw file that you imported. It takes note of the edits you did to that image. Then it saves a secondary copy of the ones that are edited, or the edited version, in your gallery, so that you then have two versions of that image. One edited, one not edited. So a very powerful application in itself. As I said, also a free app. There's a lot more you can do with all three that I had heroed in this series of blog. And I would highly recommend, if you do need something to, while on the go, running, and needing to edit one or two things and you don't really have the time to sit down in front of the laptop, those three apps have helped me tremendously over the last couple of years while out on safari. I'm sure it will help you. And as I said in the previous two videos, if you have been using Snapseed for a while, and you still have questions, if you've just downloaded it and you find yourself having questions in the future, please get in touch with me. I will happily assist in helping you out along either one of those journeys. If all three, I'm happy to do so. But until then, have a great day further. Chat to you soon. Bye bye.